To the United stand. No Manchester United manager is without blame if Liverpool win a Champions League or a Premier League or what. Well, no, they're not going to win a Premier League. But if they win a Champions League or a league, no Manchester United manager is without blame if it happens on their watch. It's unacceptable. It's not good. It's not nice. And last night, look, I'm going to put my hands up. I can't understand any United fan last night who was saying, go on Liverpool, do it for England and anything like that. I just don't get that. It's not the world I grew up in. I can't stand Liverpool. I know Liverpool fans who can't stand Manchester United. They'd rather eat glass than see us winning a game. That is rivalry. And for anybody who saw the programme on Channel 5 the other night called The Feud, which was talking about Arsenal versus Manchester United, if you think that's just idiocy from fans to be that het up and that wound up by rivalry, you listen to those interviews from the United players, Sir Alex Ferguson at that time. That's what I grew up with. I grew up with those big rivalries that Sir Alex Ferguson and his United players harvested. It's what made them successful. So if United fans who are around my age and older and a little bit younger are like that about rivalry, that's because what Sir Alex Ferguson did to make us great. Last night was probably one of the most unenjoyable evenings I've had. Not just watching football. I turned it off at 2-0, but you know, it stuck with me through the rest of the evening. I hate it. I hate the fact Liverpool have got a player who might win the bloody Ballon d'Or. You know, that's been dominated by Messi and Ronaldo quite rightly for a long time. Liverpool's player could win the Ballon d'Or. He's favourite to win it. That's a joke. Liverpool could win the Champions League and have six European Cups. That is a joke. That for the next decade, we're screwed. If Liverpool win that Champions League, as a Manchester United fan, we are screwed. That is a horrible, horrible situation. And for that to happen on Jose Mourinho's watch, I don't care what anybody says, whether it's Ed Woodward, Jose Mourinho, he can keep going on about second. If he thinks second place and an FA Cup is a good season when Man City win the league and Liverpool win the Champions League, I'm sorry, mate. I'd rather get relegated than Liverpool win the Champions League again. It's that serious. Now, maybe my I don't like to use the word hate, but my rivalry with Liverpool probably goes a little bit beyond everybody else. But this is serious. They're in the Champions League final. I mean, people saying, well, Roma did it to Barcelona. I saw a great comment from George Kyle who said, you'd very rarely get two comebacks like that so close together. I don't see Roma coming back. I see Liverpool have got a one-shot lottery to win the Champions League. And it's all right saying Real Madrid will beat them. Well, Real Madrid have got to beat Bayern Munich first. And also, in a one-off game, who's to say the referee doesn't send Ronaldo off in the first 5 minutes for a late tackle? You just don't know. If they're in the final, they've got a chance. And if they win that Champions League, that, for me, as Manchester United Football Club, is unacceptable. It's happened on our watch. We were in that cup. We could have stopped them. The reality is, could we have stopped them, though? Are we good enough to beat them? Because now, it's not just about, well, we're fearful of what Liverpool are going to do. Is Mourinho at fault for what Liverpool are doing? Are Liverpool now a better club than Manchester United? Better footballing side? You know what? No, they're not. They're not. And that's something I will step in here and say, because actually we can still cling on to the hope that if Liverpool don't win that Champions League, what are they? They're just a team who got to a final and lost. They'll still finish below us in the league. They'll still not have any silverware. And that is where I wanted to do this video last night, but actually I thought, you know what? It's Liverpool's night, and I'll just say things I really am going to regret, because I was really genuinely angry last night, and I don't know whether people like you were or not. I mean, what have I got to be angry about? United aren't even playing. It's simply because they're a massive rival, and I don't like them. And I know that sounds really petty, but look, Sir Alex Ferguson in The Feud, that programme, the late 90s, the rivalry with Arsenal, you listen to what Phil Neville was saying, you listen to what Paul Scholes was saying, and it was like he was at us all the time, telling us about Arsenal, the bottle jobs, this, that and the other, we never get any credit, this, that and the other. He was obsessed. It was an obsession that driven him. And in life, whether it's football or not, this is a game of rivalry and competition, and I don't want us ever to lose that. And I don't think we have enough players who are like that on the pitch, but that's by the by. But this matters. You can't just brush it under the carpet and go, oh, Liverpool deserve it. Salah's been brilliant. Salah has been brilliant, but Liverpool don't deserve it. Liverpool don't deserve the thing, because they're our biggest rival, and I will never, ever, ever give them an inch, and they will never, ever give us an inch back. I'm worried. Of course I'm worried. Of course I'm worried. And as Paul says, if Scousers do win the Champions League, it'll be worse than seeing them steal in 2005. If Liverpool win the Champions League, It'll be worse than 2005 because you could sort of see that coming. But this Liverpool side is, and it's not very good. It's not a very good Liverpool team. It is dominated by a player who is arguably the third best player in the world at the moment. He's not Messi or Ronaldo, but to be behind them as the standout player in the world is some achievement for Salah. If you take Salah out that side, then they're not where they are. They're not where they are. But they have got him, and what they have got. I mean, look, Jose Mourinho is a better manager than Jurgen Klopp. I'll argue that with anybody. Manchester United are above Liverpool in the league, and we're nearly at the end of the season, and we're above Liverpool in the league. And Liverpool are having a fantastic season, but we're above them in the league. We're not having a great season, but we're above them in the league. Klopp can't beat Mourinho. Yeah, he might have done it for Dortmund, but he can't do it at United. He can't beat his Liverpool team. Can't beat United. Ashley Young put Salah in his pocket. Mourinho knows how to stop Klopp, and Mourinho knows how to finish above Liverpool, and he's going to do that. The problem is, if they win the Champions League, it doesn't matter, because they will win something that we would love to win, and they'll have won it double the amount of times we've won it. 6 to our 3 European Cups. So if that happens on our watch, then it doesn't matter whether we win the FA Cup or second place. It really doesn't matter, because all we'll want to do this summer is put our heads, go in the cave that Liverpool have occupied for the last 20 years. It's not acceptable, and as United fans, we should not prepare ourselves, but I think we should accept the fact that Man City winning the title by 20 points and Liverpool winning the Champions League is probably the worst season I can think of ever. And that, City have won titles. The Aguero moment wasn't very nice. 2005 wasn't very nice. But actually, City winning the league and Liverpool winning the Champions League, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I'm gonna have to get that live on the show as well. How many times does this happen? Camera's on. Unbelievable. All bloody day I have got that delivery waiting, and it comes when I'm bloody live. Unbelievable. What a bell end. Anyway, I don't need that in. Where was I? So, oh, God almighty. I may as well just stop this fucking stream. Forgot the bloody signature. Well, live TV, isn't it? It's sort of the mood at the moment, isn't it? It's sort of the mood. Where was I? So yeah, I mean, look, the thing with me with this is I think that Mourinho is better than Liverpool at the moment because of where we are in the league, and they've got this one-shot lottery of winning the Champions League. Will Liverpool be better than us next season is more of a relevant point, and I think Manchester United have got the best goalkeeper in the world and arguably one of the best defences in Europe because of that. And Mourinho's very good defensively. Liverpool have got a rubbish goalkeeper, and yes, Van Dijk is improving, but it's not a very good back four either. Liverpool are in the Champions League final, United aren't. Liverpool have got a bad defence, but they attack teams, and that's how they win. United have got a great defence, but we don't attack teams. We're quite conservative. Liverpool's midfield is not very good, but Klopp makes them energetic, pressing, and that benefits their attack. Their whole team works very, very hard. United's team, bottom of the league for distance covered, pragmatic, conservative, doesn't go at the opposition. So I think that is the wake-up call that I would take from this. Are Liverpool a better footballing side than Manchester United? Well, come on. I mean, as much as I dislike them, I have to say, and I would look at the live comments in a minute and say, how can we not argue that Liverpool are a better footballing side than us? Is that important to United fans? Yes, it is. It's very important to United fans that we play good football, and this is the recurring problem that Mourinho faces at United, is that we don't create as many chances as the other teams in the top four. We're very lazy compared to the top four in relation to distance covered. We don't press, and actually, when you look at football now, unless Real Madrid, the superpower of current football, can stop Liverpool or Bayern Munich, what's been successful this season in England are high energetic teams who try to attack. I mean, Man City have spent a lot of money on their defence, but it's not great. Their attack is fantastic. Liverpool's defence is not very good. Its midfield's not great. Its front three are brilliant, and they get the ball to them very quickly, and they've been fantastic. Spurs are sort of a hybrid of both with no backbone. Arsenal want to get back to that. Chelsea have had a bad season. And we are sitting pretty in second place in an FA Cup final, but we don't play great football. And that is something that, look, it's an irritant. It's an irritant when your two big rivals, Manchester City and Liverpool, are playing great football. You can't just sit back and argue and go, yeah, but we're second. You know, it's a bit of a fruitless argument. And also, second isn't first. So, look, Liverpool probably wouldn't take relegation for the Champions League, but one place above it in the Champions League, they take that, knowing full well it's a great achievement and that they can mug us off to their heart's content. So, look, I'm not. I think it's a fear. I think it's a nightmare for Manchester United. Is it a nightmare for Jose Mourinho? I mean, there's a super chat here. We're building a stronger mentality team than Liverpool that doesn't break down under pressure. Only concern is players like Salah shining under Klopp. We need to nurture our talent, says Ahmed Hamada. It's a very good point, Ahmed, but I suppose it still doesn't answer that point. We're building a strong mentality. Are we building a strong brand that entertains fans? I mean, somebody was saying to me the other day, you know, from Salford, go to the games. You'd be surprised how many people who are from the Manchester area aren't happy with Mourinho because of the style of football. It's against what Manchester United's all about. And that is a recurring theme that we can't do anything about. We'll see what happens. Mourinho is definitely building a strong mentality at Manchester United. It's just when you watch... Look, another irritant of last night is we watched our biggest rival blow somebody away in front of the world. Absolutely annihilated them to the watching world. And I've said this a few times. If you are somebody wanting to support a football team at the moment, you're not going to pick Manchester United over Man City and Man City and Liverpool. You might pick Roma as well. And that doesn't bother me because I'm not really intrigued or bothered about who's going to start supporting United just because we play well in the semi-final. But it does bother me from a point of view that that's what United should be. We should be entertaining. We should be a team that, you know, risk takers, edge of the seat, that I'm proud of. I'm not proud of this team at the moment. And that's that came out without me even thinking. And I don't know whether that statement is a statement that you don't like me making, but I can only be honest and say I'm not proud of this Manchester United side. I'm not. I think I'm very loyal to it, and I'm very loyal to some of the players. I think De Gea's fantastic. I think Lukaku's work rate up front is brilliant. I do like Sanchez. I do like Pogba. But I'm not proud of that team. It's very workmanlike, and it's so difficult to be excited by it. But the Liverpool situation, I don't think it's one we need to be concerned about. I cannot see that team winning the Premier League. The Champions League is horrific. To win it is the biggest prize in football, and if they win that, I'd just be very, 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 very frustrated. Nightmare TV says, I fear that we're risking to lose everything. United is about win at all costs. Yep, I'd agree with that. Right now, Liverpool has a better team and style, says Stepney. And imagine Liverpool spending more money on defenders next season, says Stepney again. We would have parked the bus against Roma last night if we played them, says Paul J M11. And that is the point, isn't it? That really is the point from Paul. It's like, well, well, we don't need to predict. Sevilla aren't as good as Roma, or maybe they are, but they're around the same level. We played our Roma and we got knocked out to them. We conservatively sat back against Sevilla, and then we had to listen to our manager say, Sevilla players get in my team. They'll get in my team. Well, no, they won't, Jose. They won't. They were beaten by Munich. They're not a very good Spanish side this season. No Sevilla players should get in the Manchester United squad at the moment. They shouldn't. and that was a smokescreen to cover up. You screwed up big time. And I thought we'd moved past Sevilla, but last night it was like an iron rod up the arse again. You know, it really wound me up what we did against Sevilla. But I have to balance that by saying, would we beat Liverpool over 2 legs? The only way we would beat Liverpool over 2 legs is how Mourinho has beaten Liverpool over the last couple of games, which is at Old Trafford, which is, you know, defensive and hurt them on the break. And at Anfield, play for a 0-0 draw. And that's how we beat Liverpool. That's submissive football, isn't it? It is. We'll call it part of the bus football or whatever. It's basically organising defensive, conservative football to nullify an attacking team and hope that you can nick a goal at the other end. And that's not what United have ever been about. I mean, going back to those Arsenal-United games of the 90s, that was 2 fantastic sides going head-to-head with each other. Yes, it was violent. Yes, it was aggressive. Yes, it was competitive. But it mattered, but it was real rivalry and it was real football. And at the moment, I think we're passive-aggressive. I don't see much aggression in a Manchester United shirt. I see a very organised, strong mindset like the previous comment made. But there's no passion to it. I mean, you look at Liverpool last night and you watch the first 20 minutes. You watch Manchester City, you watch Spurs. There's an aggression without punching people. It's an aggression and passion and pressing in the way they play football. They're going for it. They're going 100 miles an hour. They're running the distance. They're pressing the opposition. They're forcing the mistake. They go. And as I've said many times, United, bottom of the league for distance covered. That's just a big red flag that we are a passive, conservative, lazy side. And we've never been that. And people can say, well, you know, I don't like the fact that, you know, we're second in the league, we're in an FA Cup final, and you're just being negative, Mark. And I'm not, mate. I'm not negative about that. I think second place is very, very good. I think an FA Cup final is very, very exciting. But this is the world we live in. Even is it an acceptable season? Is it a good season if we get second place in the FA Cup and Liverpool win the Champions League and Man City win the league? No, it's not. To some of you it might be, but to me, that is a bloody nightmare. It is horrific. That is the worst case scenario. I cannot accept second in FA Cup being a successful season for Manchester United when Liverpool... I mean, Man City's different. I mean, they're a rival, but they've spent a lot of money and they've got a lot of good players. Liverpool have not spent a lot of money compared to us. They haven't got as good a squad as us, but they're going to win the Champions League. How can we then go, yeah, but we've won second in the FA Cup, that's good? It's not good. It isn't good. And look, it doesn't make... It's not a reason to dislike Manchester United players or Mourinho or anything like that. It's more of a rant, I suppose. It's more of a frustration. It's more of a, how can that happen? How have we allowed that to happen? What have we got to do? Well, we can't stop it happening, but what have we got to do to win a Champions League? If Liverpool can win a Champions League, you know, a team that's normally fighting for the top 4, never anywhere near the league. If they can win a Champions League, then why can't we win a Champions League? Why are we being told by Mourinho 6 weeks ago, we never had a chance of winning this Champions League anyway? And that was before the Sevilla game. We never had a chance of winning the Champions League. But Liverpool are potentially going to go and win it. It makes him sit down on some of the negative approach we've had to our football and this season in general. I mean, we're already being told it's going to be very difficult to catch Manchester City. Very difficult to catch them next season if they spend a load of money. And I think he had that mindset as well. We can't win this Champions League when you look at teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona. But football's not like that. If you take risks, you get rewards. And nobody in their right mind would have thought that Liverpool were going to get to the final of this Champions League. Of course, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Man City were the 4 favourites. But 2 of them have gone. And 1 of them will go in the semi-finals. Only 1 of them will be in the final and they'll be playing Liverpool. So we need, I think it's a mindset. I think it's a wake-up call that the club needs to make. If it's true that Ed Woodward said to Mourinho on Saturday, whatever happens, we've had a good season finishing second. I mean, Ed Woodward, what's his background? Is he just a businessman? Is he a Manchester United fan? Does he know what the club's all about? Does he know that if your big rival Man City win the title, second is not a good season? Does he know if Man City win the title and Liverpool win the Champions League, You may as well bloody shut the club down for 10 years. It's a horrific season, so it's not a good season. Mourinho, he's got to look at last night and what Liverpool did to Roma. He's got to look what Man City's done this season. He's got to look at Manchester United's history and say, I'm Manchester United manager, but I can't inflict this negativity on this club. I've got to take risks. I've got to be positive. I've got to put out a positive mindset, because realism isn't what people want. Optimism is what we want. This club is based on dreams coming true. It's based on fantasy football. It's not a realist, pragmatic football club. We've never been that. And we don't want to hear things like, we can't win this Champions League when we're still in it. Well, bloody Liverpool could win it. So if they can win it, we could have won it. So you're wrong. I don't want to see us going into Sevilla and playing pragmatic football. I don't want to see that. I want to see us... We might have to take a massive lesson. If Liverpool win the Champions League, then we're going to have to take a massive lesson. And we can't have this approach next season. There's got to be a change in mentality. There has to be. There has to be. And then I read comments like this morning that we're after Danny Rose and we might give them 40 million plus Luke Shaw. We might give them a 22-year-old player who will develop into a very good left-back for a 28-year-old reserve left-back at Spurs. Because he can't get in the Spurs team. I mean... And another 28-year-old. I mean, we need some excitement. We need some excitement. But Mourinho's a better manager than Klopp, and Manchester United are a better club than Liverpool, because the league doesn't lie. And it all comes down to, yes, Liverpool are in a Champions League final, but if they lose it, all they'll have at the end of the season is runners up, below us in the league, and no trophies. Ahmed says, after 4 bad years, we need a winning mentality. Jose is a surgeon who comes in, fix stuff quickly. Brilliant football should be our focus in the post-Jose era. Interesting points. United 7-1 against Roma. You're right, good point there. Danny Rose, who is Danny Rose, says Moats Metro. Exactly. Liverpool in the Champions League with Oxlade, Chamberlain, Henderson, Milner. Well, Alex tweeted last night, if Jordan Henderson lifts the Champions League, that's got to be the crappiest player ever, the crappiest captain ever to win a Champions League. But you know what? Klopp gets a lot of stick, and I don't think he can win a Premier League, because you've got to do it over too long a period. But with the advantage of Anfield and the attacking, pressing football he plays, I think they can win the cup, and they could win the Champions League. But you've got to give credit to Klopp, because against Man City you've got a better team. That midfield three, it's not great, but they just press. They press hard. They press the ball. They go hard and they go for it. And that is an approach that we don't go with. I mean, I'll keep saying this till the cows come home. I don't understand how we're bottom of the league in the Premier League for distance covered. I think that is absolutely appalling. Appalling to be that lazy as a team. But that's a tactical approach, and I just think United need a bit more energy around the club, from the manager, from the players, in the way we play. We need to get a bit of pride. We need to get a bit of pride back in this team. We need to get a bit of excitement back into this team. We've definitely got the players to do it. We've won, Alexis Sanchez, he's got it in him. Lukaku, Rashford, Lingard, Mata, Martial, Pogba, Herrera. These are players that can play fast, quick attacking football. Definitely they can. They just need to be allowed to do that. And I think the way of being pragmatic and conservative has been proved too many times this season for United. It's not the way. It's not the way of the world anymore. That's not how teams are playing anymore. You can't sit back and be conservative anymore, because they'll just get devoured. They'll just keep coming and coming and coming. Liverpool win the Champions League. Somebody needs to pay the price, which is Jose, says Hannah. Look, it's very unfair. It's very unfair to be Mourinho out or anything like that just because Liverpool win the Champions League. We may well have got it wrong against Sevilla, but are we good enough to beat Liverpool over 2 legs? I think it would be very, very tense for us to do that. We could do that. Stuart says it's worse than seems like Stoke for distance covered. It's a joke. Lee's obviously watching a little bit later with the doorbell, which was a bit of an apology from me. We don't press enough, Mark, says Damien. You're right. Mourinho doesn't know how to play attacking football, says Hayes. I think he does. I just think it's a mindset that he needs to move away from. We have the players, but the wrong man in charge, says Breach. I've seen Mourinho wanted that against West Brom, but the players didn't deliver, says MMA News. Did he want it against Sevilla though? I mean, we're trying to incorporate a different way of playing in April because the last 7 months he's told him to do something else. I agree. In the last few weeks we are working towards playing a better style of football, but it's still a long way off from what everybody else is doing. We've got a much better squad than Liverpool, says Hayes. You're right. And Adrian says, I had a dream last night that I was the manager of United and we played attacking football, promoted youth players and won the Champions League. Mark, imagine Liverpool win EPL next season. Klopp won't stop until he humiliates us. And we don't have the players, says Jacob. And I just think that, well, here's Andrew Ellis. Put Rashford up front and Martial and Sancho, Thiago, three-man midfield. Look, I agree with Andrew Ellis on that. I mean, I'm a big fan of Lukaku, but I think Rashford can go past him. I really do, but he needs the minutes. I think Martial can be a great player, but he needs the minutes. I think Sanchez can be a good player for us as well. He is getting the minutes, but he needs to be involved a lot more than he is, as does Pogba. The thing is, though, Matic has had a very good season for United, but he's a slow player. He's a slow, pragmatic player, but he's had a good season. The team needs more energy. It needs more energy, but I'm just look. I know I'm releasing, and that's what a live video is about, and it's a fan channel, and that's what fan channels are about. And there's probably some truth in what I'm saying, and there's probably just some petulance in what I'm saying as well. But it matters to me. This rivalry with Liverpool matters to me, and at the moment I'm very, very frustrated with what is happening. Andre says, a lion is a lion, it can't change its skin. Jose is Jose in the big games, he'll always park the bus. And that's very sad. Thanks for that contribution. That is very sad. It concerns me a lot. It really matters to me though. Liverpool doing this really matters what they're doing, and I hate it. I hate what they're doing. I hate the fact that they could win a Champions League. And I am not blinded that second in the FA Cup is acceptable on a season that Liverpool could win a Champions League, and Man City have done that. It's not good, it's not progress, and I refuse to be conned that this is a rebuild when Liverpool haven't got the squad, haven't got the money, but they've come and won the Champions League. It works. The excuse works with Man City. I'll accept that excuse with Man City. Bigger resources, better squad, win the league. I can't have this progress, we're going in the right direction, and then Liverpool win the Champions League. Well, how the hell have they done that when we've got a better squad, a better manager, more money? How have they done that in the world's biggest tournament? You can't use excuse of it's a process, we're heading in the right direction. When Liverpool come and win the Champions League, it makes a mockery of that. And maybe we should have gone more gung-ho. Maybe we should have been more aggressive. And I hope we learn the lesson if that happens. I also hope we get away with it. And I hope that Liverpool don't win the Champions League, but I hope that we still take a lesson from it. Because I tell you what, if they don't win the Champions League, we should all take a big deep breath and say this never happens again, because we got away with it. Laugh at them, we will, but they're going to get very, very close to doing it. And if we get away with them not doing it, then they might do it next year, and we need to be bloody ready next year. That's what I feel. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Drop a like on the video. It's very rare that I get to just go and do a video without any notes and really let loose. So if you enjoy that sort of content, I'm thinking about bringing this in a little bit more often, especially on the 1 PM show, where it's not totally about United news and transfers and games. It's topical. It's something that we talk about in a bigger picture sort of way. Yeah, we're talking about Liverpool a bit, but they're a big rival. They're doing something big in the world of football. They're entertaining. Everyone's loving it. We're hating it, and I like the fact that we can sort of have a chat together and vent and express. So if you're not watching live, do whack a comment in below. Josie says Mourinho should seriously look in the mirror if Liverpool win the Champions League. You can't keep buying old players to defend. It takes youth to attack. Well, maybe that comment at the end deserves a very, very good like from everybody. I actually liked that comment myself. Very, very good. No 8 o'clock show tonight because I'm doing a very important game tonight. From a That's Football point of view, I've got to be neutral, but on the United stand, Real Madrid have got to beat Bayern Munich. So I'm live tonight at 7:30 on That's Football channel, doing a live stream watch along for Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. And Real Madrid and Ronaldo, we're counting on you, mate. So No 8 o'clock show tonight. Back tomorrow, 1 o'clock on the United Stand, but 7:30 tonight on That's Football if you are looking for some more live content. I'll see you all later. Drop a like. Speak to you all soon. And don't forget to come back and give us your thoughts, because I know people have different thoughts about this. Some people think it's acceptable what we're doing this season, and it's just one of those things what Liverpool and City are doing, which I respect if you think that, but do get commenting and give us your thoughts. Thanks for watching.